Hello guys and girls, it's Aaron Lee here today, and I'm making my second video, and it's Aaron Lee, also, it's called, Engineering Iron Man 3, Shane Black and Kevin Feige, the director and producer of the #1 movie in the world. Chat, pull back, the curtain on Tony Stark's most dangerous adventure. And Iron Man in opening weekend made 174.2 million. People got it. And this was posted yesterday, actually, at 4:25 p.m. It was and the update was 7:59 p.m. Yesterday by Nikki Griffin, with Marvel's Iron Man 3 starring up the box office director Shane Black and producer Kevin Feige have ample reason to be proud. From behind the camera, Black and Feige helped shape Tony Stark's newest and most dangerous adventure into the action-packed thriller ride audiences can now experience in theaters and IMAX 3D. Now, I'm messing this up. Oh shoot, I'm messing this up. Now with Iron Man 3, breaking records around the world. Black and Feige talk about what went into creating the hit film, including the science of extremists, Guy Pearce and Elrich Killian, and more. Director Shane Black and star Robert Downey Jr. on set of Iron Man 3. Marvel.com says it must have been difficult to choose which characters were going to be a part of this movie. How did you decide what story you were going to tell in the third film of this series? Kevin Feige says the extremist storyline has been inspiring us since the first Iron Man. The Warren China Cuff reinterpretation of Tony's origin story. Of Tony's origin. I remember Robert Downey Jr. used to say, "Hey, this extremist stuff is really cool." And I'd joke and say, "Oh, that's part 3?" And that was in the early days before we had any idea that Iron Man would work. So when we got to part 3, so much of Extremis is the origin story, and we had already done that. That we wanted to use it as seeds to grow a new story. Maya, this is Maya, who is just as smart as Tony, has gone down a similar path. Without the redemptive angle and Eldritch, that we needed a name that Maya worked for. So we just said, let's use the one from the comics. Marvel.com says, Shane, Iron Man 3 opens with Tony in a bit of a funk. And Marvel.com says, Shane, Iron Man 3 opens with Tony in a bit of a bit of a funk. He's in a bad place. It seems like Tony's problems in this installment arises from situations he could have avoided. Was that a choice? Was that a choice? You and co-screenwriter, was that a choice you and co-screenwriter Drew Pearce made as a team? Iron Man 3, now in theaters and IMAX 3D. Shane Black says it came out of the comic books. One of the things we wanted to recreate was a story from his past, that maybe he created problems for himself that he was too drunk to remember. Like he stumbled into this thing where he said, Get out of here, clown. Get out of here, clown. Meet me on the roof. And that eventually comes back to bite him. And Maya is this girl in the Extremis comic that he meets in the past, who is vibrant, vivacious, and incredibly enthusiastic about this discovery that he just poos at the time. I like that idea very much. So bringing her back in the future has a sense of a good mystery. The rapture. The return of the female who says, listen, we can't talk here. And then she gets cut off. That's how it emerged. Following the natural story of the comic book. I think the fact that there is a female scientist that he slept with and left what you think is a love note on the stand that turns out to be a formula that he just jotted down. I like that. I like that idea. I love the idea that he is a playboy. But also a playboy. But also this very restive, unrelenting mind. It's all about his relationships with women, but tech as well. Even with Pepper, it is tech and women. Tony Stark is a playboy genius. It's all sex and technology, and they war in his head because he tries to cover up this brain that won't stay still. With all the accoutrements of fast cars and fast women, but he still can't help writing that formula and leaving it on the nightstand. Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Elrich Killian, Guy Pearce, in Iron Man 3. Marvel.com says Guy Pearce is such a talented, dynamic actor, and he pulled off the arc of his character flawlessly. What was the process that went into casting him? Kevin Feige says, well, we've always loved Guy. We've always been a huge fan of his, and the timing worked out that he could join us on this film. The great thing about him is that he could bring so many layers to it. So it isn't just about, oh, you ditched me on a rooftop. There's a desperation to him. A perverted genius to him. Like there is to Maya. Like there is to Tony. And frankly, I don't think we would have gone as broad as we did in the beginning if it wasn't Guy. I mean, he can pull off the crazy hair, the crazy teeth, and the limp before turning into this really suave guy. Shane Black. Shane Black says there's also a touch of Mozart and Salieri to it. Salieri to it as well. I love the idea that I love that the envy that he has for Tony Stark is so palpable. He wants his ideas. He wants his stuff. And ultimately, he wants Tony to work. He wants Tony to work for him, and he wants to date Tony's girl. So there's that real sense of wanting to appropriate the queen in a way. Marvel.com says Marvel's comics often feature some kind of scientific research or experiment gone wrong that leads to the creation of superheroes and villains, as it does here. When writing the script, can you study up on your biotechnologically and genetics? Shane Black says, we wanted to create a sense of science, but we didn't really have to do a lot of research, because even the rudiments of it were in the comic book. Extremist writer Warren Ellis does this wonderful job of explaining how we were all meant to be upgraded. There is a portion of us that has sort of existed forever, which is essentially a port that we haven't developed the capacity to fill yet, and once we inject something in, our bodies recognize part of their evolution, so that they're ready to take this next step. It is just an interesting philosophical idea that he had shared in the comic that we thought we could use. All the reactions to the post-war feel of technology. The 1945, 1969, 1944 through 1960 was the atomic cafe generation. So in 1961, around when many of the Marvel superheroes were created, there was the fear of radioactivity. So these comics were all attempts to deal with. Psychologically, the impacts of negative science. Godzilla came from atomic blast as well. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark slash Iron Man. In Iron Man 3, Marvel.com says, was there anything you wish you could have done that didn't make it into the movie? Shane Black says, I really want it. If you ever watched the Hardy Boys mysteries on Saturday mornings, or Fat Albert, they would solve a mystery, or they'd reach a conclusion, like a moral, and then they'd cut to them singing about it like a rock song. Maybe after the credits, I desperately wanted to see John Favreau on the bass and Gwyneth on the drums, belting out singing. You don't want to change yourself. You don't want to change yourself too much, or something like that. Mozart and Salieri were both famous classical composers. Mozart resented the Italian Salieri's success as Austrian court. I'm doing a video right now. In the 1780s, and blamed him for. I'm doing a video today.
Okay.
And blamed him for impeding his rise to fame. There are letters from Mozart to his father that suggest his jealousy was a bit out of control. That's it, guys. That's it, guys and girls, for you. Hope you enjoyed. And please rate, comment, like, add to favorites, subscribe, thoughts, and opinions. And that's my dad back there getting me ready for bed. And I gotta go now. I gotta eat my medicine for my heart now. And maybe listen to some music there. And let me know. Gotta go. My dad's making funny faces. Gotta go. Okay. See you later. Bye.